Hi, and welcome to another episode of Dare to Live, Seated Together with Terry Dawson. I hope you're enjoying the series so far, and thank you for subscribing for those of you who have. If you haven't, press that subscribe button and turn on your notifications, and then you'll get information of when we post new videos. If this is making a difference for you, if you think there's anybody else who might benefit from it, please take the time to like it and share it. And let's build this community so that we can be seated together. I was thinking the other day, actually, I was reading one of the Proverbs, and it said, "Buy the truth and do not sell it." And I've read that proverb so many times. And for some reason, though, it actually jumped out at me. I'm like, whoa, buy the truth, buy the truth. Why did you say buy the truth? And when you said buy it, why does it then say, and whatever you do once you've bought it, don't you sell it? I began to think about it. Why do you have to buy the truth? Because to buy something means it costs something, right? So to get to yourself back to truth, it's going to cost you something. So be willing to pay the price to get back to truth, the truth of who you are, the truth of who you were intended to be, the truth of the gifts and callings and all the things that make you uniquely you. To get back to that, if you've been living outside of that, that's going to cost you something. Be willing to pay the price for it. And once you've bought it, whatever you do not sell it. Don't give yourself away again to anybody that comes along that says, well, if you would just give me this part of you, then I'll give you attention. If you would give me this part of you, then I will give you my time. Whatever it is your need is, people will give you what you need when you give up a part of yourself, oftentimes. Buy the truth about you. Pay the price. And then don't sell it to a soul. I want to share something with you and make it more practical, right? And it's a place of transparency and vulnerability, even to a degree. Yeah, but let's go, because we're daring to live, right? Seated together. And as I told you, I'm not asking you to come to the table and I not come. I'm coming to the table too. So I'm going to tell you about my journey, why that struck me so strongly. So when I was about 15 years old, my stepfather had intentions for me that were not right. Okay. And he was trying to groom me and prepare me for what he had in his mind toward me. So he came to me one day and he said, the only thing going for you is your body. That's the only thing men are going to ever want you for. And then he proceeded to tell me what he felt like his responsibility was to get me ready for the men that were coming, right? Well, I knew better than that. With my 15-year-old self, I had read the Bible enough to know that what you, sir, are proposing is not consistent with the Word of God. Thank you, Jesus. But in my attempt, let me call it that, in my attempt to reject what he was saying about me and to create something different, I decided to build a house. And what you're looking at is the house that Terry built. It was a house that Terry built in order to make sure that when people met me, they'd have to meet the real me. That they would not be distracted by my physical appearance, that they would not be attracted to that alone. And that, so my body then, if you think about it, then my body became the enemy. Because if my body is the only thing that people want, and people will want, men will want, and that's the only thing that they will see. Now, my body is the enemy because it's blocking the view of who I really am. So I said, I got a solution for that. I got a solution for that. I didn't know how to let God be the solution. I didn't know how to do that. So what did I do? I began to build this house intentionally and on purpose. Every week, every time another guy was gawking at me or whistling at me or, ooh, baby, come here, I built the house a little bit bigger. It's not big enough yet. It hasn't done what it was intended to do. And that was to distract people from my physical appearance so that the people that were supposed to be in my life would get to know the real me. Well, that wasn't a very wise or healthy decision, because at the end of the day, guess what? I began to turn on my body, and I began to treat it in a manner that wasn't honoring the temple of God. I was like, oh, well, you body are the problem. That was the lie. The lie that was told. Well, even though I tried to reject it, what I did was I still embraced it and then tried to do what I needed to do in order to avert it on my own strength and in my own way. Well, as time has gone by, down through the years, it's time. It's just time. It's time to let the real Terry come to the table. It's time to get back to a healthy me. It's time to not be dealing with all kind of physical issues and dumb stuff that, I've just been making it and I've been managing it and I've been handling it and I've been. But I've been so far removed from the authenticity and the genuineness of who I really am that this became my norm. I was all right with it until the Lord started dealing with me like, baby girl, this is not who you are. And I need you to trust me enough to get you back to who you really are. So I said, all right. I told my doctors, I said, okay, you win. I need to get the weight off. I'm going to get the weight off. And I started, I literally had just made the decision. I had a breakfast. I was at a breakfast meeting and I had just left the breakfast, right? And I went to get gas and put gas in my car and I was feeling good. The meeting was wonderful. It was a great meeting. And I get to the gas station and there's this man who I thought he looked like he was getting ready to leave. He jumps out of his car, his truck, and he stands by the gas pump and he just starts staring at me and grinning like, oh, hey. And I was like, ooh, back up, man. I don't know you and I don't know why you're looking at me like that, but I'm going to need you to go on and get in your car and move on with your life. But he didn't. He kept grinning at me and looking at me. And in that moment, I felt like an object. That's what it was. I felt like an object that was on display and I hated it. I hated every minute of it. So let me tell you what I did. I left the gas station and I was shaken. I was so shaken by his behavior. Let's call it that. I was shaken by his behavior. And I went to go get lab work done. And when I left there, I wasn't even there 5 minutes. And I found myself in the drive-thru at McDonald's. And when I got my food, I was sitting in the parking lot getting ready to eat it. And I was like, oh, shoot. What are you doing, Terry? What are you doing? This is what you used to do every time something like this would happen. This is what you would do in order to fix the situation. We're not here anymore. So what are you going to do right now? And I threw the food in the trash and I went on about my business, but I was still shaking at the core of my soul. Well, why were you shaking? Because I realized that the lie that I was told by my stepfather, though I knew it wasn't true, I still had adjusted my life and I found that I was accommodating the lie to try and prove it wrong versus erasing it altogether. So the only way we can buy the truth is that we have to first erase the lie. So I just stopped and I said, hold up. What is true now, Terry? What is true? Because all of that has nothing to do with you. His gawking at you and looking at you all crazy, that has nothing to do with you. Are you safe? Yes. Are you okay? Yes, I am. Did he approach you in a way that was threatening? No, he did not. I was just uncomfortable. Okay, well, that's on him. That's not on you. It's time for you to be who you are. And guess what? When you get back to you, here we go again. Are you going to run every time that happens? No, I'm not going to run, because what I'm going to do is take that lie that was planted and sown in the soil of my soul, and I am now going to erase it. It's time to pluck that up. So you got to erase the lie, and then you've got to replace it with what is true. And once you put what is true in the place of the lie, it's like filling up. Now that the lie is erased, there's a void, there's a vacuum in that place. And now you put the truth in there. And when you put the truth in there, now you embrace the truth as if your very life depends on it, because it does. So you got to erase, you got to replace, and then you have to embrace. Erase the lie, replace the lie with the truth, and embrace the truth and hold on to it for dear life. Buy the truth. And when you've bought it, don't you sell it. So here's the rest of the story. Once I had that epiphany, threw the food in the trash, went on about my business, and realized that was a test. And I don't know that I passed the test. Kind of did, because I did throw the food in the trash can. But I'm just saying my natural routine is, oh, somebody saw me. Let's build this house again. So I was at the gas station about 3 days ago, same gas station. And I pulled up to get the gas, and who pops up? Same man. Same man looking at me, same crazy. But this time I said, hello, sir. How are you today? And he said, oh, and I think it shocked him that I said anything to him at all. He was like, oh, I'm good. I'm okay. I said, well, good. And so then he got ready to leave, and then he got in his truck and he closed the door, and then he just started looking at me from the other side of the window. That's on him. That has nothing to do with me. And I walked away from there saying, all right, check. I'm not scared of this anymore. I am not fearful that people won't get to know me, because they'll be distracted by that. Is that going to cost me? Absolutely. You know why? Because I took great time and have done a great job of building a house that could protect me. So now the Lord is like, well, here's God. Can I have the house? And can I put this house back together to the way I intended for it to be? And will you trust me holding you in the palm of my hand, holding your cards so that you don't have to worry about abuse, and you don't have to worry about neglect, and you don't have to worry about abandonment, and you don't have to worry that people will see you for things that they want to be able to objectify you and make you only an object to be used, but they will see the value of who you are as a person. I want to encourage you. Whatever the lie is that you've been walking in and nursing and accommodating and adjusting to, can you identify that? And can you just take the time this week and erase it, and then replace it with what is true about you? By the truth. And then will you embrace it if your very life depended on it, because it does? Will you embrace the truth, erase the lie, replace it with the truth, and embrace the truth and hold on to it for dear life? That's what I mean when I say dare to live. Take the leap. Take the risk to live your life fulfilled. Take the leap. Take the risk to live your life free from fear and intimidation and manipulation. Let's just take the risk and say, I'm getting ready to live my best life because it's the life I was intended to live all along.